She the queen, yeah, that's Queen Esquire. Legal trouble, she getting you out the fire. Another dame, she solving another case. Cause she litigate with dignity and grace. She the queen, yeah, that's Queen Esquire. Legal trouble, she getting you out the fire. Another dame, she solving another case. Cause she litigate with dignity and grace.
Hello, litigators and opinionators. Court is now in session. You guys, so we have been doing a lot of stories on Mexico. I tell you guys, I'm not out here looking for these stories. They are finding me. This is crazy, guys. Another woman has been kidnapped in Mexico. Yes, she's American. However, y'all, she went and got a house out there in Mexico. See, there's some people out there that are American that are bragging about Mexico. They're like, hey, I live here now. I moved here from America. It's better, blah, blah, blah. It's not dangerous. Well, that did not age well, because I've heard many people coming out who are American who moved to Mexico claiming up and down Mexico is the best place to go. And it's not that whole statement is not aging well, because this woman here, she lives in Mexico. She is from America. And she was thinking, hey, like everybody else, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pack my bags and I'm going to skedaddle over to Mexico and get me a place to stay. No, she got kidnapped, y'all. And she has not been seen ever since. And it's said that she was kidnapped back in February. Somebody came to her house. A group of people came to her house trying to drag her into a car. She tried to get away. And then another person came out the car, dragged this woman in the car, and she has not been seen ever since, y'all. I'm telling you, Mexico is not it. So these are her kids here. They are traumatized. We're going to hear from them. And what I don't really like about the FBI, y'all, the FBI is only offering $20,000. Are you serious? Is that it? They offered $50,000 for those other individuals that we talked about, the 4 individuals that were kidnapped. But now they're only offering $20,000 award for her. And she's been missing this long? Unacceptable at this point. So FBI offers $20,000 reward in case of missing American woman kidnapped from her home in Mexico. See, y'all thought it was going to be all cool in Mexico and everything, bragging about moving over there. It's not it. We're going to play this video, but let's read the article first. More than a month after a 63-year-old U.S. citizen was kidnapped from her home in Mexico, the FBI has announced a $20,000 reward for information leading to her whereabouts. Are you serious? After a month? Look at this, guy. She's been missing for an entire month. And the most the FBI can do is $20,000? Sometimes I'd be side-eyeing the FBI. And she's been gone for over a month, guys. This doesn't look too good. The FBI, okay, I don't understand this. Maria del Carmen Lopez was kidnapped February 9th in Pueblo Nuevo, a municipality in the southwestern Mexican state of Colima. The FBI's Los Angeles field office said in a release Thursday. Now, Pueblo Nuevo, I thought this was on that list. Let me see. I'm going to put Pueblo Nuevo and see if it's on the travel advisory. Yeah, this girl's going viral. But why did they just announce it a month later, guys? It's like you knew she was missing. Why wait an entire freaking month? This girl's probably not even. I'm not even gonna say it, but y'all know what I was about to say. But after a month, the FBI decides to do something. Like, seriously, they did that about the other 3 girls that went missing. They waited 2 weeks afterwards. They need to do better with their timing. As soon as she went missing, they should have already been requesting an award, and it should be way more than $20,000. Okay, now let's look and see. I want to see if Nuevo Pueblo is on the travel advisory. I'm checking the list here, y'all. I'm checking the list, checking it twice, trying to find out if Pueblo Nuevo is naughty or nice, because the cartel is coming to town. Just kidding, guys, for real. Sorry, I'm not trying to joke about this. This is very serious. Okay, I don't see Pueblo Nuevo on here. We'll have to come back and check later, but I don't see Pueblo Nuevo yet on here. Is Colima? I thought I seen Colima. Yep, Colima's on here. Colima is on the list, y'all. Hold on, before we finish this article, let me show you guys. Colima is on the list of do not travel over there. And she was living over there. So this is the travel advisory. We went to the travel.ca state.gov. This is where you guys should go to look if you're trying to travel. Do not travel to Colima State due to crime and kidnapping. Right here. And what happened? She got kidnapped. She got kidnapped, exactly what the travel advisory warned against. The travel advisory said, do not go to Colima because you will possibly be kidnapped. And she went and moved there, and it got a house out there. And probably didn't even check the travel advisory because she thought she was above the law. Not even a law, above the danger. And look, now she got kidnapped, unfortunately. So Maria del Carmen Lopez kidnapped on February 9th, and they just now are announcing this, guys. Unacceptable, right? In Pueblo Nuevo, a municipality in the southwestern state of Colima, which is on the do not travel advisory list. Lopez is also a Mexican citizen, according to a statement from the Colima Attorney General's office, which said it is working with the FBI on the investigation. Okay, so she seems to have dual citizenship, but that still does not alleviate you from the possibility of being kidnapped. Like, what happened? Though the FBI did not share details on the case, it described Lopez as having blonde hair, blue eyes, and tattooed eyeliner. The FBI's announcement comes nearly 2 weeks after the violent kidnapping of 4 Americans in the Mexican border city of Matamoros, 2 of whom were unalived, 3 weeks after the disappearance of 3 women who crossed into Mexico to sell clothes at a flea market. So if you count that, that's 7 plus her is 8 women, 8 people have been kidnapped in the last 2 months at least. The investigation into Lopez's disappearance was opened by the Colima Attorney General's office on the day of the suspected kidnapping, and the Mexican Attorney General's specialized prosecutor for organized crime has since requested to take the case, the statement from Colima authorities said. And here's a photo of her. And I just find it still unacceptable to only offer $20,000 for this woman. And they waited. And I find it also unacceptable for them to turn around, y'all, and wait a whole month, guys, over a month, actually, because she went missing February 9th. It is now 20th. So it's a month and a half, and they're just now announcing this. Unacceptable. They just truly dropped the ball on this. I mean, time is of the essence when someone's kidnapped. I mean, after this long, I don't see how she's going to be able to survive that. The Colima prosecutor's office said it has shared information with the Mexican federal authorities and has also collaborated with U.S. agencies seeking to clarify the facts and safeguard the integrity of the victim. Well, how did you safeguard the integrity when you waited a month and a half to announce this? Seriously, if it was drug cartel, they're definitely, you know how they move. The FBI encouraged anyone with the information about where Lopez may be located to contact their local FBI, submit a tip online, or reach out to the nearest American embassy and consulate. And here you can see a photo of these three. These 3 women were living in Texas also, and they went missing. They were also kidnapped back in February, and I also covered that story, so you'll have to watch that video. It's a separate video. So CNN reached out to the FBI for more information. In all, more than 100,000 Mexicans and migrants are missing from the country, leaving their families no explanation and little solace. The Mexican government's quick response to recent disappearances of Americans has raised eyebrows among some citizens who criticize officials for lacking such prompt reactions in a slew of domestic cases. So, guys, not only are Americans being kidnapped, but even Mexican citizens are being kidnapped. It's just a very highly dangerous area there where it is prone for kidnaps, which is why it's on the travel advisory of do not go there, period, point blank. So no one is immune from being kidnapped just because you're a Mexican citizen. But let's watch this video from the children who are being interviewed.
There was never any sort of threats. There was never any enemies, anything that would indicate that she was in any kind of trouble.
Zonia Lopez and her brother Tony are puzzled as to how and why their mother went missing. 63-year-old Maria del Carmen Lopez is an American and has been living in Pueblo Nuevo in Colima, Mexico for the last 9 years. The small town is just 120 miles south of Guadalajara. FBI investigators believe the mother of 7 was kidnapped on February 9th from her home.
Someone did see there was a car that drove into the property, and there was an exchange of words. They did hear her say that she would not get into the car.
Lopez's daughter says that witness was a cousin who reportedly saw 4 to 5 strange men near her home at the time of her disappearance.
And 2 individuals picked her up, and another one came out of the van. And they had their heads covered, and they covered her mouth, and that's when they took her.
Lopez is retired and loves to cook and garden. Her family says she has no ties to gangs or any criminal activity. They believe she may have been targeted in a crime of opportunity.
I don't think it was isolated. I mean, to end up at a town that's so far, so remote from the city, you really had to be indicated, go there.
So we're doing everything we can still. We're not going to give up. We're not going to give up on my mom. We're going to find her one way or another.
The FBI's LA field office is now offering a $20,000 reward for information leading to the woman's whereabouts. A spokesperson could not comment on the specifics of the case, but said so far no arrests have been made and that they're hoping someone with information will come forward. The woman's family is devastated, but said they're not giving up until they bring their mother home.
We don't care about you guys. Give us back my mom.
The FBI is being tight-lipped about the case since the suspects are still at large, but a spokesperson said they are working with Mexican authorities on the case. I'm Candace Crone, KCAL News.
Yeah, they're working on the case a month and a half later. Seriously? Like, I don't understand. Like, guys, y'all let me know, because I don't understand. Now, check this out, guys. There's a new development that happened within a matter of seconds, y'all. Y'all don't even want to believe this. The daughter of the American woman kidnapped in Mexico receives a ransom call. So somebody, after she started going viral on the news, because that article I just read to you was released March 17th, so that was back on Friday. She gets a call for a ransom. So she could possibly be alive. Let's hope to God she is. But seriously, daughter of American woman kidnapped in Mexico receives ransom call. It has been 39 days since Maria del Carmen Lopez was kidnapped from her home in Pueblo Nuevo, Mexico. Her family has yet to receive any updates from the FBI on the status of the investigation. It's been a roller coaster for the last 39 days. It definitely seems like we're actually living inside a nightmare, said Zonia Maria, Maria's daughter. Ohio State student dead after spring break in Mexico. Are you serious? Okay, guys, there's another article right here. See, everybody falling dead over there when they go to Mexico. I'm telling y'all need to not be going over there. That's another article, guys. We're going to have to do that one later. I'll come back on here and talk about the spring break person. This person still had the audacity to go to Mexico for spring break after we didn't told them not to go. Anyway, Zonia was alerted by family members in Mexico about her mother's kidnapping. The kidnappers then made contact with Zonia, asking for bounty for her mother. And we're going to watch this real quick too, because it looks like our boy Cuemo's on the case too. We'll look at him a little later. Hold on, Cuemo. Hush up now. We're going to talk to you later. It was shocking. It was an actual, it's like your body and your mind. Everything goes into a state that obviously you've never been in. This is sad, y'all. This is so sad. But y'all need to stop going over there. I know she was living there for several years, but she should have looked at the travel advisory. Okay? Because Colima is not safe. Like that report was saying, oh, it's so it's away from all the other cities. That don't matter. The travel advisory says it's prone for crime over there and kidnapping. So you're not immune, okay? It was shocking. It was an actual, it's like your body and your mind, everything goes into a state that obviously you've never been in. It's disbelief, but at the same time, as weird as it sounds, some kind of comfort because you're at least having some kind of communication, Sonia said. The FBI is offering a $20,000 reward for any information leading to Maria's whereabouts as the family grows desperate for information. The Lopez family is also holding out hope that Mexican authorities are able to do more to help. But I'm like, she's been gone for a month and a half. How are they keeping her alive? Like, what are they doing? I'm just wondering. We're hoping that in the next few days that the government in Mexico gives full support to the authorities there and their troops to conduct the search. It's a small state, it's a small town, that they enable everything in their power so that they can find my mother, and that this doesn't become another kidnapping where it goes unsolved. But remember, as we talked about in the other article, there's over 100,000 Mexican nationals missing in Mexico currently. And it seems like they said the Mexican authorities don't do anything about it. So a lot of the Mexican citizens are irritated and frustrated with the government over there because it's like they're selective in who they care about. They're selective in who they actually go out and try to assist. Cartel smuggling spreads far beyond border states. Wow. This comes as 3 women from Texas disappeared after they entered Mexico last month. The FBI and local authorities were alerted of their disappearance and are investigating, but have not offered any updates on that case either. Because they waited 2 weeks after she went kidnapping, what do you think happened? Time is of the essence when someone gets kidnapped. That's why we have that show that says 48 hours. Yeah, because the first 48 hours are the most crucial hours. FBI be waiting too long. That's the problem with them now. They are so thorough, but sometimes they're too thorough. Okay. There are also 100,000 Mexican nationals missing in Mexico currently. We know we're not the only family already, and we know that there's plenty others that deserve answers also. So let's hear Let's talk here from Cuomo now. He's been anxious to talk to us, y'all. So let's hear from him. See what he has to say, y'all. Because you know he be having the tea on stuff. So let's check out his interview.
There are still some, mostly in elected office, who don't buy that the Mexican cartel should be our focus. So we're going to keep telling you stories of what's happening to Americans in Mexico and in America. So a family in Southern California is calling out for help to rescue their kidnapped mother. 37 days she's been taken. Her name is Maria del Carmen Lopez, the American citizen living in Mexico, abducted by 2 men who had their heads covered. The FBI has announced it's offering $20,000 as a reward for information leading to her whereabouts. But guess what? They can't do the investigation. And they say that Mexico isn't doing enough. Joining us now, Sonia Lopez, daughter of Maria. It's very good to have you. And also, we're going to have retired FBI agent Jennifer Coffindaffer, understands these cases, worked cases with the cartels. So perfect. But first, Sonia, I'm very sorry, but I am happy to be able to get the story out for you and your family. What do you want people to know?
We really want to have attention and make sure that my mother is found. You just mentioned it's been 37 days and we still do not have our mother with us.
What have you heard from the people who took her?
There has been a ransom that has been asked. Unfortunately, we haven't heard back. We don't understand why they still have our mother.
Any idea as to why her and who did it and what this is about?
No, not at all. There's once they made the move there, my parents, my mother's living a quiet life. It's a very small town. There was no enemies. There was never any signs of any threat or anything that she would ever be in any kind of danger, or that anything remotely, geared towards this, an actual kidnapping would be something that would be happening to her.
Is it true that when you went to the Mexican authorities for help, and even on the FBI side, that Mexico hasn't even really done a search yet?
It's been a long process. Our communication, obviously, because it's being held and investigated in Mexico, has been limited, and we're trying to be very supportive. And
you could already tell the mom the daughters over here really want to say, no, the FBI hasn't done anything, but she's trying to dance around it. Girl, just keep it real. I know you try to be sensitive, girl, but keep it real. The FBI is not doing what they need to be doing. Okay, they could do a lot more. For real. Like, why did it took a month and a half, guys? A month and a half. Now the ransom thing gives some small amount of hope, but now she's saying that she hasn't heard back from them. So I mean, guys, this is just who I try to tell you. And then she said, oh, they're in a small town and she had no enemies. That doesn't matter. The travel advisory, the Mexico travel advisory, has Colima as number 1 on the list. It's number 1 as do not travel. That should tell you something. Guys, look at that. Do not travel. The number 1 location state is Colima. Colima's a number 1. Yes, I know she said her mother was living there, but you're not immune because you live there. And if you Americans out there who want to move to Mexico because you think you're going to live your best life, this should be a telltale sign and a warning to you. No, it's really, really dangerous in Mexico right now, not just for people traveling there, but for their own citizens. And Mexico officials are not doing anything about it. We already see what happened to Shinquella case. They still haven't done anything about that.
You know, patient with it, but we feel at 37 days, we need this to have more action. We need to have an actual search. We need the government to support their troops and their, you know, officials there so that they can go ahead and continue with the search to find my mother and not let it be another case where another person who is kidnapped isn't found.
When's the last time that you had any sign from your mother or that she was okay?
It's been weeks.
Oh man, I'm so sorry.
I would say yes.
But you know, I'm sure they're all telling you on the FBI side, and Jennifer Coffindaffer will tell us now, that is not an unusual tactic to go quiet, to create pressure, to foster a different type of negotiation. But Jennifer, when you hear about how quickly these guys moved, that they knew to cover their heads, they had the van ready, they had it ready to go, it sounds like these are pros.
They're pros, Chris. This is a absolute typical type of kidnap for ransom scenario. I am so sorry for what you're going through, but I want to let you know this isn't anything personal. This is strictly them profiling your mother as somebody who was a U.S. citizen and could be able to pay such a ransom.
And what did you learn about the cartels in your investigations, Coffindaffer, about how this is kind of a side hustle for them?
It absolutely is, Chris. What happens is on the side of selling narcotics over the border, mostly to the United States, they also participate in these kidnapping for ransoms. It supplements their income. It's a brutal business.
Did you guys hear that? Listen up, y'all. Listen up. The cartel, they're into the business of multiple streams of income, if you know what I mean. And I'm not talking about in a decent and honest way. They use multiple streams of income from selling drugs and to targeting you American citizens when you come over and cross the border to kidnap you for ransom. And that's how they get reoccurring income. You're a source of their income. Now, yes, they said Mexican Americans, over 100,000 of them missing. But I'm talking about U.S. citizens right now who are trying to go travel to Mexico. You're a target. Drug cartel is looking for you. If you have any sign of American citizen crossing into that border, drug cartel's coming for you because you are looked at as green dollar bills. So, yes, you need to listen to this FBI agent and realize it is a very, very dangerous place to go at this time.
It's something that's typically negotiated between the families, and law enforcement isn't even necessarily brought into the mix. And so this gives me cause for concern now that the FBI is so involved in offering a ransom.
That's also a key indication that she mentioned about law enforcement's never involved in it, because cartel tries to move undercover. They try to move so that they do not catch the attention of the authorities. Because again, they don't want the FBI and all them involved in their business like that, because they know FBI is going to start investigating them and they don't want that. So the fact that there's been no law enforcement attention on this for a whole month and a half is dangerous. Okay. Now, Now the FBI is in it. Who knows? It might pressure, if cartels involved, it might pressure them. But guys, a month and a half, I just don't know. I'm not knowing right now. Y'all got to let me know what y'all think in the chat, but it's not looking good. It's not looking good. And the reason why those other 4 Americans who got kidnapped, 2 of them came back alive, was because it was quickly publicized, which is why I'm telling you it's important that if these kidnappings happen, there needs to be quick publication of this in the news. FBI needs to be involved within a matter of seconds, days, whatever. Not months. Waiting a whole month, by then, I mean, the person could probably not even be here anymore. And then what also makes it disturbing here in this case is, even though they asked for ransom, they have yet to hear back from this person ever since. So then you have to ask yourself, was it really for ransom? Because if it was for ransom, they should be negotiating an amount. And they just went straight silent after that.
And yet, Sonia, that took your family out of the loop, right? What was the last ask that you heard from the kidnappers in terms of how much they wanted and when?
It's still an open investigation, so I'm not able to discuss that, but it definitely is a sum that we're a normal working family here. We don't have that kind of money, unfortunately, and we feel very supported and guided by the FBI, and we hope that this continues, that it's not another kidnapping that goes unsolved.
So y'all, as y'all can see, that quickly developed really fast with the ransom. I did not expect that. I saw that just now. So it's so sad, man. It is just so sad. Now, this report from Good Morning America, they just reported, they said that they don't suspect it's from the cartel. How do they know? How do they know? Nobody knows who is the kidnappers. Okay, let's play this real quick from Good Morning America, because Good Morning America, they act like they know everything. I wouldn't just eliminate the possibility that it's cartel. I just wouldn't, because you don't know who did this, and there were multiple people involved. And one of their source of income is ransom and kidnapping. And this area is highly known for that. And if you guys looked at that map that Cuomo provided on his reporting that we just watched, you could see Colima was in red for do not travel, as we just discussed. So it is an area you should not be at. I don't care if you've been there, living there as an American citizen like this woman for several years. You're prone to get kidnapped. And she stands out. So they knew she was an American citizen. So she stood out. And they went in for her. I don't know, maybe she went into the town to go to the store or something. And they saw her and noticed her and followed her back home. Who knows?
The search for an American woman believed to be kidnapped in Mexico. The mother of 7 also has a...
Okay, I don't know if you guys could hear that, but I couldn't hear it. So I'm going to have to try to reshare this again to see if I could get it to play for me.
The search for an American woman believed to be...
Wait. Hold on, guys. I think the sound might be
The
on.
mother of 7 also has...
Okay, I got it, guys. I fixed it. I had it on mute. Sorry about that, my sweet people. Let's play this now and see what they had to say. They act like they know everything, y'all.
A woman believed to be kidnapped in Mexico. The mother of 7 also has a home in Mexico, and that's where family members say she was when she was taken by force. And now the FBI is offering a reward for information. ABC's Zareen Shah joins us with the latest. Zareen, good morning.
This is now the 5th American citizen who has been kidnapped in Mexico in the last month and a half. Her family is now speaking out, and they are pleading for anyone who knows anything to come forward.
At this point, we need answers. We need to find my mother.
This morning, the FBI offering a reward of up to $20,000 for information to help them find an American citizen believed to have been kidnapped in Mexico. Maria del Carmen Lopez's daughter, Zonia, says she was kidnapped after witnesses saw a white van drive up to her home in Pueblo Nuevo about 5 weeks ago.
There was an exchange of words. She was refusing to get into the van. There was another individual who stepped out of the van and helped those two bring her inside, and they drove away.
No one has seen the 63-year-old mom of 7 since.
We all started calling her to see if she would pick her phone or...
You know, guys, one thing too, as she's talking, you remember in one of the interviews, she said that a cousin witnessed the kidnapping. I'm starting a little bit side-eye that cousin for a second, y'all. How do we know the cousin's telling the truth? What if the cousin was the one that unalived her, probably took her money or whatever? They might have had a spat or a fight, because you know sometimes family members have issues. I really kind of question the cousin though too. I'm gonna keep him on the hook just on the side, because I'm like, cousin just so conveniently has this story about a kidnapping. I don't know. And where was he at? How come did he have a gun or anything to try to protect her? Did he try to go out and try to help her? I mean, if it's a family member, I don't care if you are putting your life on the line. I will go out there and try to help my family member. He didn't do anything. The cousin didn't do anything that saw this. So I'm a little bit skeptical about that cousin, y'all. I'm not letting him off the hook. I don't know about that cousin. And then how do we know he could have staged a fake call for a ransom to make it look like a kidnapping? Because sometimes people, when they do stuff like this and they try to cover up their tracks, they'll try to, stage it and make it look like it's ransom and all this stuff because they haven't heard back from this person who wanted the ransom. I would think if they were really trying to negotiate a ransom, there would be some back and forth communications to say, hey, you got to bring it this time, this place, whatever, but or wire it over here. Nothing like that has happened. That's really questionable, y'all. I don't know. Y'all know I just have my questions, and everybody is innocent until proven guilty, but I'm still side-eyeing that cousin because I just feel a little weird about his story. Because I'm like, I still don't understand why he didn't go out and help. Try to go out and did he have a gun to try to shoot them off or whatever? You see your family member being kidnapped and you just sit there and watch like it's a TV show? Seriously.
Answer her messenger, and we have not heard from her.
Zonia says investigators have ruled out cartels, but believe this could be a coordinated kidnapping. Her disappearance comes just 2 weeks after 4 Americans.
This is where I had a problem with investigators and Good Morning America, whatever. How do you know? How did you really rule it out if you don't know who did it? They don't know who did it. If they knew who did it, then the woman would be back by now. But they don't know that. So to just rule cartel out, I just think that's way too premature to just rule them out, especially because they're known for doing these kidnappings and ransoms because it's one of their sources of income. So for me, I still keep the cartel as a possible suspect in this, okay? What do you guys think in the chat? Let me know.
Were kidnapped in Matamoros, Mexico, seen here in that disturbing video. The bodies of 2 of them were found and returned home. The other 2 are now back with their families. One of them has gone through multiple surgeries in a hospital after he was repeatedly shot in the leg. And 6 people have been arrested in that incident. As for Maria, the FBI tells us they are getting tips in both Mexico and America, but they still do not have an update on her. Janae?
And as spring break season is upon us, obviously that creates a lot of concerns. Zareen, thank you.
And as you guys heard me, I'm going to have to come on here again because I want to talk about that case that we just saw when we were looking. There appears to be a person who went to, who's from Ohio, who went there for spring break and ended up getting kidnapped. Oh, Ohio State student was found dead, actually. Found dead. And this was updated March 20th, 2023. So we are going to have to come back on here and have a discussion about that. And they said another is on life support after traveling to Mexico. And these people went there for spring break because they was trying to live their best life after all these reports about not to go over there. They still had the audacity to go over there. And now one student was found dead and the other is on life support because they went over there for spring break. Okay, so we're going to talk about that case a little later today, maybe, or tomorrow, probably later today. All right, I love y'all. Y'all, I'm telling y'all, hashtag boycott Mexico. Okay, boycott Mexico, y'all. Do not go over there. It is not the place to go. I don't care if you're a Mexican citizen, it's not even safe. So you as an American who has a target on your back, it's more than definitely not safe for you. All right. I love you guys. Take care. Toodaloo.